Here it goes, baby. We're watching yet again. People thanking the bus driver. It's time to get started.
Halfway through Heat 2. Can we get some noise here if you're here in San Jose at TwitchCon, please?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
The battle bus taking off. I like that the Fort Nightmares decoration on it, Jack, I think it's really cool. Kind of makes the top look like a mummy.
Every time they've had a theme to the battle bus, it's been awesome.
With the exception I heard complaints about the Happy Birthday one because that song got embedded in people's heads. I loved it, just saying.
It was super, super catchy.
It was.
Super, super catchy.
I heard it in my sleep. I want you to know that. Now, we talked about Tilted.
People are going there.
First time thus far in Heat 2, looks like we're going to have two teams. One's landing down at the pawn shop. The other team splitting the north side in half, east and west. We have a pretty even spread. We have people at Leaky Lake. We have Pleasant Park occupied. Potentially so far, the only spot that hasn't really been touched is just because people haven't landed there. We have a team stretching to Lucky. Risky's going to be occupied. Tomato. You have a team kind of awkwardly floating between Lazy Links and Risky, checking to see if it's a safe zone, so they're going to land it. That cluster of houses to the west of Risky. Just have to see how things play out. A majority of the map with a pretty even spread. Maybe some non-marked POIs at the top of the hill to the southwest of Salty. Not occupied. Animal Cross landing out here. Hoping, I would assume, to not get eliminated first like they were last game. Getting any metal they can out of this RV. Flipped kind of nose down there. Shadow and Just Moon, the hotel. Sharing space, coexisting as shots come out, and Shadow is down to 68 HP already. Not a whole lot to his name. He's got a close-up set, weapon set here. Looking for that 6-shooter headshot. Moon gets knocked. And that elimination will most likely happen relatively quickly, and there it is. Animal Crow saying we're not going out first this time, Jack.
I was going to say, remember,
we're not going out first this time.
Earlier they were eliminated right off the break, and he's just staring down these two players that are inching closer and closer. Are they going? We're about to have a second engagement. They could have 4 limbs instantly off the break of this one if they can survive this, but look at how weak they are. And this is the difference in play. Look at how aggressive they're getting. Trying to push on forward. They don't get the knock. Animal with 1 down. It's a quick little trade. Bogdan has such a health advantage here. If he loses this fight,
with the weapon setup,
it would be disastrous.
One shotgun shot. If they end up getting on top of each other, Bog doesn't have a shotgun.
He doesn't have a lot of materials either. Does he see a shotgun right there, or just ammo? I think that might have been just ammo. One player close.
Down SMG spray from above.
He's taken 19 damage so far. Keep in mind just how weak this opponent is. Now down to 93. Now down to 55. Oh, and the hip fire.
You can see him mouthing, "Let's go."
That's huge. The Sentinel players now down again. That's 2 games landing now at Motel that they've gone out in the opening 60 seconds. And we know how deadly that duo can be.
Oh, yeah. We've seen Animal in the past. It was one of the players that put up some of the highest elimination counts, I believe, in the summer skirmish, if I remember right. And it's kind of surprising to me for them to get caught off guard there at the hotel twice. 2 games in a row now.
Yep.
You see a pair of teams here at close to Tifu's typical drop location, Martin and Jacob. I was actually going to point out earlier, Martin and Jacob have, I believe, 2 points, but only 1 elimination, which it's a good way to focus on the fact that even ranking can put you pretty high up the leaderboard. They were top, I think, 16 maybe. They're close enough to the top that they could edge their way in to a top 12 finish and make the grand finals, even with a lower elimination count. And that kind of, I think that focuses on how crazy the previous 2 matches of Heat 2 here have been, just with the number of players remaining. Still 90 left. We've got 52 seconds until the circle starts to close. The first circle starts to close.
Cell Day is just trying to get some damage down, hopefully burn through these materials. Both players were stacking in that 1 ramp, which makes you believe that they didn't have many materials to their name. And look, I think they're still trying to hold it. Now they've been knocked down for a second. He wants this hunting rifle shot so bad. I don't think they have any idea that Method and Jacob don't have shields, or Martin doesn't have shields.
No hits have been dealt yet, so not yet. That as soon as they know,
as soon as they get a tag, and
it'll get aggressive.
Yeah, as people call it, oh, he's tagged for white, meaning white is the color of the damage when they're on HP. If they get that, you'd expect them to just immediately go, because at that point, no matter what, you have an HP.
The advantage, especially lean 75 shield, days at 50. Still no damage dealt.
Such
Back
a drawn-out fight.
Doesn't surprise me. Both teams, they're in the safe zone. They don't have to worry about potentially a reposition early or anything like that. They don't have to get ahead of the storm. They can wait. They can slow play it, wait for a strategic opportunity. This is one of those moments where as soon as a team makes a mistake and see he's exposing the ground underneath just to get as much material as possible and then resetting it in case his teammate needs to drop down. That's very intelligent.
Talking about terrible spots to be in. Tantric, absolute one-shot.
Farico and Dark Ops, they're both shielded up well past 100. Looks like Farico might have an eye on another team there in Paradise. Cub Smiles. Cryptofan.
That's the loot that they got from eliminating the one teammate.
I was in the back, kind of tried potentially building himself into a tough spot. Feed. Vinny and Zexro picking up a pair of elims. They've been doing really well. Tantric now 72 HP, 3 HP with a. He's got 6 bandages, triggering me a little bit. He's got 3 HP. We've seen players survive with 1 or 2. A very lucky pickup there. Puts down the suppressant tile. He's not going to pop it yet. He doesn't necessarily need to rotate out, but now's the time to make kind of a strategic decision. Are you going to rotate away? Are you going to try and fight against this team and with only 72, 75 HP?
Yeah.
He's not going to do it yet. He's got to back out.
Looks like they're going to begin to rotate on over. As people getting set up for this new zone. This is the first time we're really going to be seeing a lot of action down here on the desert side of the map with where this end zone is. Dark Ops and Farico trying to just disengage for the moment. They know they're pinched. They know there's players behind them in Paradise. They know they've got players in front of them at the junkyard area. And Snipes coming on in, just passing by. That's that semi-automatic sniper rifle in the hands of Zill. Now they're dipping right on out of there. And oh, whoa. As I mentioned that, I think, yeah, Farico just turned with a sniper. Challenged, hit him from 110 meters. They're rushing it up. Can they get the res in time? Farico and Dark Ops want this fight. Rockets getting shot out as well. There is a res, so they'll know both are back up. But still, will they be able to push the advantage now? Interesting thing to note, that was Farico's last sniper shot. He's out of heavy ammo. So he clutched on up, Zill popping the med kit. Will he get it off in time? Here comes the build battle now. A 1v2 build fight. Dark Ops playing the low ground for the moment. He's trying to break down his opponent to force him down to the low ground yet again. He doesn't have many mats left, so that's his reaction to it. Farico dropped down to under 10 HP. Another one falls all the way down to the ground. It looks like he's going to match the fall as well. Building back on up. The nerves these players must be feeling as they know everything's on the line in these games. Farico now knocked. Zill returns the sniper knock favor right there. And Dark Ops and Farico, they went for it. They wanted to get aggressive. Now they get rocketed, and that's a worst case scenario. They thought they had the opening. A quick pickup from Harrians to pick up Zill. The med kit was popped as well, and they wind up swinging that fight in their favor.
Interesting to see how some of these fights are playing out at not really commonly dropped to locations in public matches too much. Way down in the southeast corner. Now we cut over to J-Truth and Wilds rotating into Dusty. They're going to build up those little ramps and go for a swoop on in. Hug that east side of Dusty Divot. Shot at from behind, but really no worry at this point. Tree coverage is so good here, and materials, especially for J-Truth, is what we can see. 7-4-1 there. I'm assuming his teammate is in a similar position. They do see somebody flying over the top. Zexro and Vinny. One of the pairs here we've had our eyes on during a majority of Heat 2.
Vinny's actually been slaying out so far today. He's had at least, I think, 2 limbs in each of the games so far. Pop this one bandage to get to the max that you can get with bandages. 75 HP. Love the weapons he's got in his inventory. You got to say 8 minis. I mean, his whole loadout's pretty nice right now, and he's got a lot of materials. Already 3 limbs to his name. This kid just keeps on going.
Now, this TwitchCon will mark, this is the first time that the Pittsburgh Knights players Zexro and Vinny have actually, this is the first time they've played together. Before now, they had not teamed up at all. Zexro actually, he's he's seen as one of the most prolific eliminators in the game because he's the kind of player, and we've seen a number of times where he's trying to take a top-down advantage, much like players like Tfue and Cloak, a lot of these really strong elimination-based players. It feels like he's almost always in a height advantage position, and you can see it from the previous 2 games as well as, I guarantee you, if they run into another team here in a minute, you're going to see it again.
Zexro and Mini. Wait, are they already at 5 elims?
They are already at 5 elims. And Zexro actually, he played with LG's Creo along with Tfue and Cloak, and they had they have the world record for most squad eliminations on PC with 57 eliminations at the time, but it was broken literally hours later by a squad of EU players, I believe from the Bush Bandits.
Can I tell you something that might be a surprise to you?
What's up?
I've never held a world record before.
Jack.
I know.
What are you doing with your life?
I know what you're thinking. You know, it doesn't sound like you, Jack, but I've never held a world record. I don't plan to anytime soon. Wilds and J-Truth high up. Salt and Shotang just below. You see Freaks and Pal, as well as Cheetah and PRX just nearby. Off the distance, Pain and VapeJesus. 78 players left as we move into our second zone.
At this point, Heat 2 has kind of established itself as a more strategic lobby. A lot of players waiting till the last minute to step into engagements. You can see here we have teams below. Shatang and Salt are in their structure. Amaze, Navi. We actually saw Amaze in the restroom between games. Just throwing that out there. Fun fact, Jack. Where's that fun fact?
The people at home wanted to hear that.
Where's the fun
fact?
They
wanted
on
to know
that
we
one,
saw
Jack?
him there. Wilds and J-Truth, they're just chilling on top of the sniper tower. I always love seeing players utilize the already existing structures as the base of what they have. I always think it's so smart where wipe the top floor of a house and then just build your base on top of it. You've got so much stuff, and there it is again. It's make it rain time, 5.5 minutes. Who will be the one to earn the money this time around? Every time it happens, I still get surprised.
It still startles
Every
you.
time, I'm like, what?
The jolt back. 5 minutes and 14 seconds left. Only 10,000. I say only like it's only.
Wow, only 10,000 for getting a limbs.
Merely stating that it could roll over if it doesn't get obtained by any of these teams during this game. It could roll over to Game 4, and if it still doesn't get claimed, we'll see it in the grand finals on Sunday. J-Truth out here. The bolt action. Epic bolt action.
Does 110 damage to the body.
Wish you luck in the feed, taking out KB5. A teammate, CLG versus CLG, feels bad. Pain eliminates Jacob. The Splode. This position here, J-Truth and Wilds have a good view of kind of the land before them, but at some point they're going to have to make a rotation, especially because 30 seconds left. The zone is relatively distant. Oh, 110. Body shot at that distance as players are rotating. Imagine.
Don't you dare. He's kind of firing off a lot of these shots. He only has 10 heavy shots left.
Salt, you see where this Salt's position right there. He's watching through the pyramid right now with the edit, just looking up, seeing when they're going to make their rotation. They don't want to push out too early. If they push early, they see from above shots are going to happen. They're going to go for tags at any elim they can get while Salt and his teammate are rotating. But if they time it and they wait until the same moment, it cuts the risk of getting tagged at all significantly. Zill, Harrian's just waiting here inside the zone, basically smack dab in the middle here. There was once one of those giant stone statue heads here atop this little mountain. He's watching, you see that. Zexro and Vinny.
Oh! What was that?
A shot.
Vinny now trying to save his teammate. Zexro now knocked. They're playing edit battles around these walls. I'm assuming Vinny's going to try to get in the same box as Zexro to be able to build in front of him and protect him. Yeah, there you go. He wants to claim this as his own, doesn't get it. Quick edit comes in, tags him for 40. Both players now weak. That's already been edited. Nice job with the ramp, though, to at least give himself cover for the moment. Willie trying to hop on 3, places an ice trap. It's not what he wanted. Oh, and he's skating all around.
A valiant effort.
He wanted to place a normal trap. The panic comes in, and I think that's an example of maybe the nerves coming into play right there, right?
A pretty high tension situation, especially when you have a team directly to the wall. Your teammate is knocked down, which means if you don't clutch up, that's that for that game.
Yep. Rough times.
68 left.
They already had 5 elims, though, so they got 2 points.
Exactly.
You know, they can't be upset.
I'd almost guarantee we see them in the grand finals on Sunday. J-Truth and Wilds here at the very edge of the zone. They're going to have to make movement relatively soon.
As we continue to see how the game develops, 2 minutes and 15 seconds will make it rain bonus. This zone just west of Salty Springs, I'm assuming some of the river will actually be in play, which will create some really, really drastic height differences between the people that are on the high ground and the people that are all the way down in that ravine. I feel like everyone's going to be crowding the side of those cliffs.
Most likely. It makes it a little easier to initially build a base there. You don't have you have a side of the structure that you're building on that is already attached to something that's completely unbreakable. You have the mountain there. But when it comes to rotation time, if you've got to go up and over or around, the path you have to take just got way more complicated.
I think Zill just opened a crate that landed right in his 1x1, and it had a chug jug and a launch pad. It's pretty good stuff to get.
Kiski going for the little deploy there, trying to move into the zone.
There it is, chug jug.
Zill Harriet still alive. Now, some people might be thinking you're only missing a little bit of HP and shield. Popping a chug right there maybe seems like a waste, but like we've said before, chug jugs getting a full use off on a chug jug in a competitive match like this is the late game is very rare.
And we didn't get exactly a chance to see, but if I'm not mistaken, aren't Zill and them like one elimination away from a point this game?
I believe so.
They'd rather just use it and have as much HP for their next fight as possible.
Any buffer is a good one.
Yep.
Crimson and Austin here, you saw Crimson trying to take a snipe just a moment ago. He's watching that fight to his west-southwest. Doesn't want to be out in the open. He doesn't want to go for it. He just wants to tap from a distance and maybe, who knows, a headshot from here if there's an edited window could make the difference. Landjock Takata, the top down there. Wilds and J-Truth. It's like built on top of Austin and Crimson. There we go. Landjock Takata moving out, using that deployment in the air. Look at the structure.
I told
Look
you.
at this.
I knew people were going to be hugging the. No one wants to go into that ravine. No one wants to be in the river, so everyone's hugging the mountainside.
You put yourself in basically grenade ricochet zone if you sit down there at the bottom, down in the river.
This is from Nikiski earlier. 1, 2.
Teammate Spades gets knocked there, but it's no big deal.
And this is how those third parties.
It's like Spades does get eliminated there.
That was
the shot
dirty.
Through the very last second.
Wait, so he got 4 limbs during all this? That is nuts. So you see here, look, it's like he wanted to go in. He places that pyramid down to make so a ramp can't be placed by his opponent. It's a great little build right there. You can then control that edit as well and mess with your opponent too.
Still trying to time a snipe on a fight that's happening to the northwest. Looks like they're going to make a move here. A lot of structures being built up, and now's the time to plan your drop. Just kind of scanning. You see they're dipping back and forth in the air, trying to avoid getting shot by anybody. They're going to sneak in underneath another team here, build up their own little base. They're going to create a couple little structures here. The pyramids above, reinforcing the ceilings. Somebody is taking a shot in from the side. Another team edits a hole through the window. Zill takes a shot from above as he's trying to layer up against this. His teammate Harrian's taking shots with him. They've got to just push back. More layers, more layers, more layers. Try and not get tracked. I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if a couple ramps started popping up as additional layers of structure between that opponents would have to push through. Pops through the window there. Harrian's still just firing down on the wall. Looking for any tags, especially if they see white damage tags. You know, at that point, continuing to spray a structure isn't a bad call. If they're pushing for just another elim, maybe another point is one away there. Kind of looking through the structure that's been built up by their opponents to the northeast, down a few layers. Looks like a fight is happening, and Wish You Luck gets eliminated in the feed there by Tyrone. 48 left. This circle closes in 8 seconds.
Harrians and Zeal trying to rack these limbs up. I'm confident in these guys potentially being able to go for a big bonus this game. But now this is where it gets insane. If we can we pull back up that map real quick? Of the next zone. It is on the opposite side of this mountain.
They move all the way through Shifty.
On the back side of Shifty.
On the top right.
So like everyone's got to make some sort of move either over this mountain or through Shifty shafts. Look at how awkward this is about to be. Because of this elevation, the elevation changes everything.
46 players at this point. They're waiting. At this point, they're already going to be the edge of the circle. You've got an opponent caught outside crypt. Could not get the attachment with that grappler, trying to get any sort of distance. Couldn't do it. The elimination, he ticks out there. Imperial Hound trying to move up.
Look at these builds up the mountain. It's a mad chase to try to get on up.
Half the eliminations of the feed right now are either to the Storm or Payne eliminates himself.
He missed the shot. They still got 5 elims, so 2 points for them. Great stuff. Some big fall damage taken there. Amaze now knocked. Navi down to just 47 actual health, so the Storm could be his biggest enemy here in the coming moments. And look at how far he still has to travel. It's time to use the grappler, he says, as he's trying to get the high ground. Nothing as of yet. Stuck inside these builds. It's just so awkward going up. I'm telling you that low of HP, it spells disaster. And look at this view of everyone scaling the mountain. So many players. Look at how low health so many of these players are, because they've all been taking storm damage.
Looks like it missed all that. Poach is still up. I saw him, his name still wiggling around in there. That entire structure coming down. Landjock and Takata maybe trying to take advantage of that.
And now it goes back across. Oh.
Landjock knocks himself with a rocket.
Rough.
Caught off guard by that pyramid directly in front of him. Clipped the edge of it. It is indeed.
See, look, now Mazerwind and Static have made it above the mountain. Look at these grapplers everywhere. Everyone's just soaring through the air. This is how you get over these awkward, high ground zones on these mountains.
Static takes Takata out with a rifle shot there. Static and Mazerwind building as high as they can.
He's out of materials. He didn't realize he was trying to go for all these crazy edits. Now he's just stuck up in the sky. The low ground so stacked with players. Everyone tagged, everyone weak. Mazer and Static seem to have the best positioning possible.
14 players left right now, too.
And you just saw for a brief moment the frustration on Poach's face.
Milton in the feed eliminating Kevy. Static, Mazerwind still have this top-down view on pretty much everybody 12 left.
Fall. Yeah, they have no mats.
That glider deploy mechanic coming in big right there, but super exposed. No builds basically meant he had to land in the open.
And I think if he had builds right there, how easy that would have been. He would have just been farming from up top. Quick limb comes in. 9 now left. Mazerwind still with 0 limbs this game. Teammate Static, who we just saw drop. He wants to try to pop these medkits. One player just above. He can't build a single wall.
As soon as he heard that trap, it looked like someone was directly underneath him, placed a trap in an attempt to get him drop down. Falls down, finds Lamar hiding.
5 left. They make it 4. Caliber trying to bounce around and stay inside this zone. He's got no materials either. Everyone running out. He's falling down the side. One player just on his edge. I don't think they can build either. He's got no place to land. There he goes. Art's up top. 3 players remaining. The shot comes in. Tendons with the elim.
1v1 situation here.
1 versus 1. Where is he?
Lamar healing.
He's
popping
healing.
A medkit all the way outside the zone.
Lamar is all the way in the zone healing.
If he lands this and Tendons has no heals.
Oh my gosh, he got the medkit. Now he's firing down. They're trying to get the shots down range. No builds can happen. He's down to 37, 29, 21, 13. No, the tree of life. As Tendons hides. And it keeps him alive.